from Connecticut's news leaders. NBC 30 Today at 11 a.m. starts now.
We do want to focus now on Decision 2008, certainly our top story this morning. Americans heading to the polls across the country. The lines are long at many polling places, and a record voter turnout nationwide is possible. NBC's Brooke Hart begins our live team coverage from Richmond, Virginia. And Brooke has been very busy at polling places across Connecticut. Are we seeing the same thing in other places like Virginia? Now, here in Connecticut, voter turnout is expected to be upwards of 90% today, and there have already been some problems reported in several Connecticut towns in the first few hours of voting. NBC 30's Ryan Hanrahan continues our live team coverage this morning. He's live at the Capitol in Hartford. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brad. Secretary of the State Susan Bysiewicz will be briefing media shortly. They are expecting near record turnout. Nearly 90% of registered voters may turn out to this presidential election. That compares to about 80% of voters who typically turn out. We're live in Hartford this morning. I'm Ryan Hanrahan, NBC 30 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan.
Live from WFSB, Connecticut's first choice for news. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at noon.
The countdown is on in Campaign 08. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Irene O'Connor. Both presidential candidates are breaking with tradition and campaigning on this historic election day. And voting started early this morning for everyone across the nation, with long lines of voters eager to cast their ballots for President, Congress, and the State General Assembly here in Connecticut. Voters are expected to turn out in record numbers today. For Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Tina Martin is there live at the mobile newsroom. Tina?
Well, good afternoon to you. It certainly has been a busy morning here for polling stations throughout the state, with hundreds of voters looking to cast ballots. Now, there have been some technical problems at locations just like here. This is the Burns Elementary School. We're live at the mobile newsroom in Hartford. Tina Martin, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Tina, thank you. And one of the most closely watched races in this state is in the 4th Congressional District. Polls show incumbent Republican Christopher Shays is in a very close race with Democrat Jim Himes. Representative Chris Shays is the last remaining Republican to withstand the Democratic sweep of 2006. So this has just been a remarkable year for the campaigns, with voters who seem to be more energized and active than ever before. And with us in the studio today is Secretary of the State Susan Bysiewicz. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
It's a busy day for you.
It's an exciting day, and it started off with a big line, more than 100 long, of voters in my polling place in Middletown, waiting for the polling place to open. So people are excited about voting, and many polling locations have already reported a 33% turnout already.
Has there ever been a situation, real quickly, has there ever been a situation where you've extended the time of this voting? Has that ever happened?
We are not allowed to extend the polling hours, but anybody who is at the polling place by 8 o'clock will be allowed to vote.
Okay, Secretary of the State Susan Bysiewicz, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
I really appreciate it. Thank you, and have a great rest of the day. I'm sure it's going to be a busy one.
To it.
All right, and stay with Eyewitness News for all the latest information on Campaign 08. From the 1st District to the 5th, we have our crews covering every major race everywhere in Connecticut. And remember, for up-to-the-minute information, anytime you want, just go to our website, WFSB.com.
Long lines in Connecticut and around the country today as the nation chooses a new president on Election Day 2008. Here in Connecticut, we started casting ballots at 6 this morning.
But 2 small towns in New Hampshire have wrapped things up already. Dixville, Notch, and Hart's location began voting. They begin voting traditionally at midnight, and it was a landslide. Obama with 32 votes, McCain with 16, and this afternoon we have team coverage from both candidates' headquarters. Well, here in Connecticut, we've been seeing some long lines. The lines have been stretching into parking lots and around city blocks. At some polling places, voters had to wait 40 minutes or longer to cast their vote. Today's turnout is expected to be near record-breaking level. Alan Cohn joins us now from our New Haven newsroom with their complaints. Alan.
Sonia, a lot of those voters are not happy, and they are expressing their displeasure to us in the form of emails. Does anyone miss those old voting machines where all you had to do is close the curtain and pull the levers? Darren and Sonia, back to you.
News Channel 8's Kent Pierce has their story. Kent.
Yeah, well, Darren and Sonia, you hear about the new technology involved. You hear about the possibility of a 90% voter turnout. 300,000 new registered voters just this year. It means a lot of people are heading to the polls, which means you have to have a lot of people working at the polls today. Luckily, around here, a few dozen college students are helping out. They're helping deal with the crowds here, and they're learning something, too. Live in Hamden, I'm Kent Pierce, News Channel 8.